Hey everyone, this is Steve from GamersNexus.net, and today we are talking about Star Citizen's FPS module, which was unveiled finally at PAX Australia just a few days ago. The FPS module at the unveil showed the game in action. There was actual first-person shooter combat, some pretty standard CryEngine 3 type stuff. Shooting really was somewhat similar to what you would see in most FPS games out these days. There are a few interesting elements that we'll get to, though. First, the roadmap. The Star Citizen roadmap was updated at PAX Australia and the Star Citizen fan event, including notes on an Arena Commander 1.0 update in late 2014, which will introduce new maps, introduce racing in its entirety insofar as the demo, and a couple of other things, new weapons, missiles, things like that. The FPS module and PlanetSide module and Arena Commander 2.0 will be launching in early 2015, some of those a bit later than others. PlanetSide will certainly come much later than the FPS module and Arena Commander module 2.0. But the PlanetSide system will herald the arrival of Squadron 42's first chapter, which will offer 15 to 20 hours of gameplay. It's quite a bit of gameplay there for the first chapter of Star Citizen's proper content, we'll call it, as opposed to the alpha and beta of gameplay mechanics. So the FPS module, as unveiled, we've spoken about this in depth with Chris before. You can see the interview on the channel. Check that out. Just search for Star Citizen on our YouTube channel. And he spoke in depth about all the features planned for the future for FPS, but not all of those will be implemented right away. It is an iterative development in sort of the Agile Scrum lifecycle. So the FPS module, as showcased, is really just a couple of SMG-type weapons, a sidearm. There's some zero gravity and very dark hallways, which I think might be in part for environment and atmospheric effect. It's kind of foreboding and claustrophobic with the lights cut, we'll say, in a space station. I think it's also largely because all the art assets aren't done yet, and they wanted to conceal that by limiting the lighting, which is the nature of an early development game. This also showed that the combat is very standard for FPS. The SMGs just kind of takes a lot of shots to kill someone, not perfectly accurate. There are iron sights, just like in CryEngine 3 native, there are iron sights, and then just reloading like normal. All that stuff's very standard. The defending team of this station or of this ship, whatever it may be, did at one point cut gravity, which was pretty cool. So the one guy ran into engineering, he pulled a giant lever, turned off gravity, and then everyone starts floating freely. And there will be gravity boots in the future that, if you have them, you can lock yourself to certain elements or metal objects, things like that, and that will aid greatly in FPS combat, especially if you are a boarding party. And that's where FPS really comes into play with Star Citizen. It is meant to be something that is really truly at its best when one party of players or AI is boarding another party and attempting to steal cargo, attempting to steal a ship, attempting to disable certain functions. So in talking to Chris about this, his sort of vision is he hadn't played Battlefront 2, but I have, and what he was describing is similar to it, in that you can get on there, get on the ship, look for their shield generator, disable the shield generator, or look for effectively a warp core. Not that that really exists to the extent of Star Trek, but you get the idea. Disable that, or disable weapons batteries. And that's the long-term view. Right now, you can turn off gravity and create an ambush for the attacking players, which is a fun element. I think that the actual mechanics, from what I've seen, it's sort of a weaker version of Crysis 3. Don't be too thrilled about this going into it. It's just an alpha. You really need to be careful with your judgment here, but also be very careful with your excitement, because, to be completely honest and candid, nothing really that was shown is something worth getting excited about. It is not revolutionary. It's not going to break barriers. It's not introducing anything that we haven't seen before. But it does show that the game's being worked on. It shows that FPS will actually, in fact, be in this game. So that's sort of the update on Star Citizen. Just from watching it and from studying all the FPS footage, studying the live stream, all of this, I would say that there is promise. There's some cool things like shields that you can deploy in a similar fashion to Halo, where you just throw down an energy shield. You can do stuff with ambushes. But again, nothing here is innovative, so be careful with your hype. And as always, really just don't give too much money to a crowd-funded game. Just be responsible on your donations here, even though it does look pretty cool. Hype is a very dangerous beast in the games industry. So that is all for this video. Subscribe if you like this content, and I will see you all next time. Peace.